Well, I was 19 years old when I enlisted, and at that time things were getting a bit desperate for Australia, I thought, well, I better do my little bit. And so hence I suspended my apprenticeship and joined the Air Force. And I went to WWII in Sydney, that's at Bradfield Park, and it was an embarkation depot. We didn't know where we were going, us boys were called out, and but however we soon learnt we had to clean a ship up. It was in Sydney docks, suitable for us to travel on. It was only a small motor vessel, about 2,500 tonner. The name of the ship was the Wanaka. And we went into Sydney a couple of days to help clean that up, ready for travelling. We still didn't know where we were going, of course. However, we finished up at Port Moresby. Well, we didn't have tents, or there wasn't enough tents for us all. There was an existing group there and they had tents, but they didn't have time to sort us out because we got there in the evening. So I just slept on the ground, no mosquito nets or anything, and of course it poured raining that first night. Well, I got sopping wet, but it wasn't cold, it was still warm. But I thought, gee, what did I ever leave home? We were the only ones at that time attacking the Japanese. Our boys that were flying the Hudsons, and they'd come back full of holes, and some of the gunners were dead inside the plane. Pretty sad. And I remember one of the boys had died, and I was asked to gather up his belongings and have them sent home to his relatives, and that was a bit hard to do, packing his things up. And then the Yanks started to come into the war, and I always remember the first night they arrived. They arrived in the evening and it was just on dusk, and we had kerosene flares to mark the airstrip. And of course the airstrip had been bombed many times, and they started to come in, and the Flying Fortress, B-17, they come in, and of course when they got up towards the end of the strip where it had been bombed, the earth that we'd filled it with and rock hadn't been compacted, and the wheel just sunk down and bent the props on the plane, and it was stuck there. And of course we had to try and get it out to allow the other aircraft to come in. The engineering officer came over to me and said, look, you can drive that forward. With the Ford we'd confiscated from Moresby, sort of a truck, had crackerjack written around the side of it. And he said, look, we'll have to stop them from coming in, they'll crash. So he said, you drive this down this middle of the strip and I'll hang on the side with a red hurricane lamp and try and keep them up in the air. Now, oh gee, and I'm driving down the strip and I can see this B-17 coming in, and I thought, God, we're going to crash. And I pulled the wheel to the side and went in the bush, and it just went over us and took off again, round it went, yeah. It was a panicky night, yeah, and they helped save us. And no doubt about the Yanks, they definitely saved us. Like you say what you like about the Yanks, we were gone without them, because we didn't have the equipment. We're digging trenches, and when they arrived, get out of there, buddy, we'll fix that up. In with a bit of jelly, boom! There was a great rumour going around once before I turned 20 up there, that anyone that hadn't turned 20 was going to be sent home. I thought, oh, you beauty, I'm getting out of here. But then I turned 20 and that dashed it all. But anyway, it was only a rumour. You used to hear a lot of rumours, because when 75 Squadron went up there, they were a P-40 Squadron, they were Kitty Hawks. And we knew they were coming, but we used to call them Tomorrow Hawks. Oh, they're coming tomorrow, they're coming tomorrow. And anyway, this afternoon, I always remember, it was Saturday. And it was an air raid sound. Anyway, next thing I look up in the air, I'm in the trench and I look up and I see these planes. And I thought, that's funny, they've got their undercarriage down, they're going to land. And they've got I saw the cockade on it, and of course in those days we had a red dot in the middle of our aircraft, and the Japanese of course had a big red dot on the zeros. Anyway, I look up and I thought, oh God, we're gone, they're going to land. And there's firing going on, there's machine gun fire going. And anyway, of course they're our own planes. there was 4 of them come in. So I go down the strip. When I get down the strip, I get to this plane that landed, and the pilot's just opening his canopy, and he's got his 45 out and he's waving it around. He's very unhappy. He's going to shoot someone because he got bullets through his plane, and his earpiece was shot off. Anyway, he was the CO. That was John Jackson, CO of 75 Squadron. And he was a very unhappy chappie, naturally. And anyway, 4 of them got down, but 2 were US, and that's unserviceable. And anyway, not long after that, a Reco came over, Japanese reconnaissance plane came over. The 2 serviceable ones, I think it was Wackett and Cox, went up after that and shot it down. Of course, it was great jubilation. We'd won the war. We were all going home singing, we won the war. We shot the boys shot the first Japanese plane down over Moresby, you know. Yeah. Well, you were still a bit edgy, because I go to the repat every Friday, and I'm still on the post-war, post-traumatic stress disorder program. But I don't think I really need that, but they say I do, so I'll go along with it. I wasn't married till after the war, but when I came home I certainly wanted to settle down, and which I did. I found a lovely lady and still with her today, and very happily married life for all those years, 65 years ago or something like that now. Well, you think how human beings can't get on together, and a lot of it is just greed. You've got oil and we want it and all that sort of thing, you know. So it's I don't know what the answer is.